Okay, hey guys, welcome to our Thursday night team call. I am Misty, your Double Diamond upline. Welcome to the call. We are so excited for tonight's call. I will let Rob speak.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
And I will let, since Rob got our special guest on tonight, I will let him introduce our guest tonight. Again, what an honor to have this person on our call. I'm so super excited, and I'm so glad that everybody could make it to the call tonight.
Okay, well, first let me say, I'm just so proud we can make this happen, and I want everybody to tune in, get serious, and be ready to be blessed with some wisdom, because that's all you're going to get from this call. Before I even was all on board with It Works, Misty used to drag me on to phone calls, and this gentleman's call was the first call she dragged me on, and at first I was just like, oh, I don't want to do this. I got better things to do, but he started speaking, and, I couldn't help but be sucked in by the wisdom. He said something that always stuck with me and made me want to work hard in this business. I heard him say on the call, I could stop doing It Works today, and my family would have enough money from this to live the rest of our lives. And that hit me hard, And then we flew to Florida, and I met Mr. Pentecost, and he dropped some more wisdom on me, and then he shook my hand, wouldn't let it go, and told me, you're not leaving Florida till you join this company. So, I thank Misty for that opportunity, and I'm glad we can now work this business together. And with that said, I have Rusty Lackey on the call.
Woo! Hey, Rusty!
Well, hey, how you guys doing tonight? Good.
We are great. Thank you so much for being on the call. We're so excited.
Well, yeah, my pleasure. And I feel honored that you guys have had me on the call tonight. And, I know everybody's time is very valuable, so I want to get right to the point. And, I've been with Mark for 12 years now. My anniversary was March the 1st, just a few days ago, the 12th year. I've been with Mark Pentecost. I'm chairman of your advisory council. And this is the most opportune time to be with It Works Global. And I know you've probably read all the books about network marketing and momentum and are headed toward momentum. And I'll give you some of my background. I am a former corporate banker. I did major corporation takeovers, mergers, and acquisitions for the bank I was with before I quit cold turkey and joined with Mark and come after this thing. And I was a senior VP when I left. But I did not own my time. I had a huge, if you read a Success magazine, my story, I had a huge salary, and but they took me 3 weeks a month away from my wife of 34 years, 2 Sundays ago, and my 2 wonderful daughters, and my wife is my high school sweetheart. And I just got tired of being gone, and you can't sell out what you believe in for money. I always knew there was a better way. I knew I had to duplicate my success through the success of other people. And so when we sat down and started putting this together, and we looked at what Mark had, I knew there was absolutely no limits. This did not discriminate me, that I could go be all I wanted to be with It Works Global. And getting back to the momentum thing, we did $230 million worth of business last year. This year we're growing at the rate of 600%. With that in place, we're a debt-free company. We'll be over $1 billion by the end of the year. Last year we did $650,000 every single day, 365 days. This year we're already over $1 million a day. Our projection is to go around $3 million a day. And I can tell you one thing, when it hits that, the people on this phone, if you're not scared to roll your sleeves up, follow a system, and get in harness and become part of the family, your life will be changed forever. And what he said is true. I could never say It Works Global again, and I have changed the legacy for generations to come in my family, all because I made a decision, not an excuse. You have excuse makers, and some people, they see opportunity coming, they can't turn the other way fast enough because they do not want to be held accountable or responsible. Yet they're the first ones to always complain about the lack of. So what we've done with It Works Global, we've helped people break those generational curses, and we're going to reprogram from the way your mothers and fathers and your grandparents and society in general on a global scale has programmed you to be under that job rule where they can control your time. And I'll tell you a story about your time. Who owns your time? Well, I went into the hospital with my father December the 2nd. I didn't leave that hospital January the 9th. My father was a Baptist minister for 55 years. I stayed with him in his room around the clock. I never left. The third day, my sisters had to leave because their incomes were in jeopardy. And my father died 7 weeks ago. He was my hero and my best friend. But what I can tell you is when the thoracic surgeon came in the 4th week and said, "Man, you've been here a long time and you haven't left." I said, "No, sir." I said, "I own my time. You don't have to write me a note for work like you have everybody else." He said, "Son, nobody owns their time." I said, "No, you don't own your time because you sold out to Navant Health. I totally own my time. I can sit here for 10 years and never pick this phone up again. And I'll get a raise every single month because I built this thing correctly. I went out, I put the sweat equity into it, and I created a team. So see, without the teamwork, there is no dream." And so I started to find out what everybody else wanted, and I helped them go get it. And by helping the other people go get it and help them realize their dreams, your dreams will always be secure. Now, the thoracic surgeon was in shock. And to show him our Success magazine and what I did for a living. And he and I walked out to his parking deck so I could actually get into literature. And there he said, "A nice big Bentley, brand new." I said, "Well, that's awful. You have to drive that parking in a hospital parking deck. You should be driving through the mountains with the top laid back." He said, "I can't do it. I'm too busy." I said, "That's right." I said, "See them new big ones sitting over there? Those two, my wife's and mine? That's $200,000 sitting over there. We go anywhere we want to go. In fact, every 8 months we buy a brand new one of those. I don't have to sit in the parking deck. I'm only here because my father's sick." Well, it just so happens I meet with this thoracic surgeon tomorrow. He's not on his time. And that's one thing that it works global. We are in momentum. As we take it from this $230 million, we go from $1 billion. You're setting the foundation for wealth. And I'm not just being here 2 years or 2 months. This is not a game. This is big business. This is if you do it correctly and follow our 3-step system. There is a science behind that party pad. That thing is scientifically, strategically put together to help you to be able to teach people to duplicate that. It's so simple, children will understand it. Now, I don't know what it is that you want in life. Y'all may be some of the wealthiest people in America. But chances are, if you were, you wouldn't be on this phone call. And I can tell you one thing. If you're sick and tired of letting that alarm clock wake you up every morning, and you want to do what I did, when I first came home, my wife was mad as fire because I quit my job. Because we don't come from money. She saw us going back to poverty. I was making a break for my freedom, and all I could see is I was going to create fortune and wealth because I got the sweat equity to put into it. And as I pulled the Bose stereo system off of my dresser, and I wrapped it in a big beach towel, and I took it in my garage, I took a ball-peen hammer, and I beat that thing to death. And she said, "What are you doing? You're going crazy?" I said, "Yeah. I'm killing this thing here. It's been interrupting my rapid eye movement sleep in the mornings. He will never wake me up again." And for 12 years now, I have not woken up by an alarm clock. I do live a private jet set lifestyle. I stay in the private islands most of the time, at least 1 week a month, in the Gulf of Mexico with my wife and kids. And then we fly back, and then we take on life again and go right back to work. But if you're not in position to live like I live, and I don't have any massive amount of education like most people think. I am just a country boy from the mountains of Virginia that made up my mind. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. See, now this is what you guys are helping us do. We're pioneering a billion-dollar company. Nobody on this phone, including me, has never been in a position to help pioneer a billion-dollar company. We're also pioneering our own industry. We have absolutely no competition for the applicator product. You know, we own the greenhouses that have the mother plants. We own the farms that grow the stuff that we need to manufacture those products. We're in total control of the raw materials to manufacture, so we're in control for pricing for the long haul. And so what I can tell you, help me pioneer this this billion-dollar company. Help me pioneer this industry, and you will never, ever want nothing in your life as monetarily. For generations to come, your great-grandchildren will be thinking about, wow, my grandmother and my grandfather were very serious about changing our lifestyle and our legacy for our family. Because they'll remember who you are. There'll be big pictures of you on the fireplace mantel that you would have done something great. So you can be ordinary, you can be extraordinary. It's a choice. And ordinary is just a learned behavior. You can take the 6 people you hang around the most, and that's what your sum total of your income will be at the end of the year. That's the sum total of all the thinking that you have. And you'll think like the people you hang around. Why do I hang around Mark Pentecost? Well, he's on his way. It's not already a billionaire. I like to think like him. I want to act like him. Whatever he does, I want to duplicate it. I'm going to model and mirror. So you model and mirror the people you hang out with. And I hang out with winners. I hang out with people that make things happen. And that's the only people I let come to my home, people that make things happen. Not that we're better than everybody else. It's just I don't want that clouded thinking in me or my family's head. And normally, if I'm not flying in a private jet, I fly with the one strategic company that we use when the jet is being leased out. And it wasn't too long ago, I was going through the line, the TSAs, and a little boy telling me to put my shoes in the bucket and get you watching your laptop here in this bucket. And he saw my It Works golf shirt. He said, man, I looked at that thing a few years ago, and you're in It Works? I said, yeah. He said, you done anything with it? I said, I've done okay with it. And he said, well, I looked at it. I said, well, did you do it? He said, no. I said, why not? His cousin told him, if you don't get one of these things early, nobody makes no money. I said, well, what does your cousin do? And actually, his cousin's 42 years old, a busboy at the Cracker Barrel. I said, wow, that's what I want to listen to. A 42-year-old busboy at Cracker Barrel needs to tell me how I need to live my life and how to go amass wealth. So there again, other people's opinions don't really mean a lot. And so then my buddy asked me, he said, why are you sitting over here in the smoking section? I said, because I don't watch the news. I don't care what CNN headline news has to say. He said, what do you mean? I said, everything they're saying is their opinions, and that cloud is poison put in your mind. I said, I'd rather take my chances in secondhand smoke than I had that canned garbage that they're putting in those people's minds just sitting there watching. So be careful who you give the keys to your brain to. But make up your mind this very second. See, what I love about It Works Global, we don't get paid until you get paid. We have a vested interest in your success, as long as you're willing to roll your sleeves up and want to become successful. So, look through your lineage. Back 100 years, how successful has your family been? And if they have not, you need to ask the question, why not? Because it's clouded thinking. It's just status quo. I'll just accept whatever they hand me on the news or in the school system or whatever. Learn to think outside the box and think for yourself. One other thing I want to cover for you is branding. If you've noticed the last couple of years how we've branded It Works Global in colors and also in our product line. We have no competition with the applicator on planet Earth. That's the only product I've ever seen that gives instant gratification without changing lifestyle. Right now, everybody on this phone call is branded for something. You're branded for not being a finisher. You're branded for you will make it happen. You're branded for this. You're branded for that. It Works Global is growing at the speed of light. We're very branded for our product line and how we methodically do business. So you want to hook your brand to our brand, and now we're becoming a household name, not only in America, but around the world. We're going to open up 21 countries this year. So the world is your oyster. You just let us know what you want out of it, and roll your sleeves up, and we'll come and help you make it happen. Because we do believe one team, one mission. We do believe it works family. Nobody succeeds until we all succeed together, and that's the way this compensation plan is designed. So if you start something, you have to be a finisher. And I'm going to tell you one last story, and I have another conference call here in just a couple minutes. Is I've never liked nobody tell me what to do, ever. And so from a time I was in the first grade forward, as I was a teenager, and my father moved us to North Carolina, and it snowed one afternoon, knee deep. And I told my girlfriend, I said, I'm coming to see you tonight. And got time to go over there. I asked my father for the keys to the truck. He said, no, sir, son, it's snowing. You ain't going. I said, Daddy, you told me to always honor my word. And I gave her my word that I'm coming. And he said, well, I'm still not giving you the keys to the truck. I said, okay. And I asked him again. He said, well, son, since you're so sad I'm going, walking's not crowded. Now, mind you, Rob, she lived way on the other side of town. I mean, way on the other side. I'm talking about 6 miles on the other side. And I said, Daddy, crowded ain't walking. It won't be crowded tonight neither. Will it? He said, no, sir. He didn't believe I was going to do it, so I went and got my hunting boots, my Carhartt, my ski jacket, and my ski mask, and out the door I went. He had opened the curtains on the big bay window. And he was like he was taunting me. I got to the end of his driveway, and I turned around and I said, surely to God, he's going to bring me them keys out here. But he was just waving at me. And so I get another 100 yards up the road. And I turn around and say, surely this is a joke. He's still waving. I thought, I will freeze to death before I turn around and give him the satisfaction of not finishing. So I must have looked at it. I get halfway there up on Main Street. The state trucks that come by there squashed me all this wet snow, and I couldn't even feel my feet or my legs. I started to itch all over. I was so cold. And I started thinking, Rob, I said, man, I'm going to have to walk back. And I almost turned and started going back. But then I started focusing on where I was going. Number one, I was going to honor my word. Number two, I really cared about this young lady. Number three, I knew there'd be a warm fire in the fireplace. Number four, her grandmother always fixed the best home cooking you'd ever had. Cat head biscuits just melt in your mouth. Big, thick pork chops. I started focusing on where I was going, and I never felt the last leg of that trip. So I get there. Sure enough, there's a big fire in the fireplace. She had cooked my favorite meal. They was helping me out of my coat, getting my boots off, and I was by the fire, and I was getting all warmed up. All of a sudden, I started thinking, oh, my God, I've got to go back. And about that time, her uncle pulls up in a Jeep. And he said, I'm just out playing in the snow. I'll take you home. I said, you're kidding. He said, no. So he takes me all the way home to the last 500 yards. I said, stop. He said, what do you mean? I'll take you right to your doorstep. He said, no. Let me out here. So I walked the last 500 yards. I never told my father that I didn't walk over it all the way back. And he never knew it. So when you give somebody your word, you got to honor it. I told you the story to tell you this. Now, I could have quit on Main Street. All the elements of nature was coming against me. The wind was blowing. The state trucks, I was freezing to death. And everything about me said, oh, no, you've got to go back. You will never make it. But I persevered on all the way to the last leg to reach the reward. Now, when you persevere forward, here I am 34 years later. That girl happened to be my high school sweetheart. She's been my wife and been with me for 34 years. It's gave me a woman I can count on. She keeps my house, runs my household. She's given me two beautiful daughters. I can depend on my clothes being clean, my backpack for when I travel on her. I can depend on her for everything. She's a rock here at my house. But what if I'd have gave up and I said, no, I ain't going. It's just a little bit too cold tonight, or the wind's just blowing too hard. Where would I be here 34 years later? Well, I don't know. But what if I'd have quit when everybody said I was making the wrong decision 12 years ago when I walked away from the bank? A job that guaranteed me over $550,000 a year, not counting my purse. I would probably be dead. But here I am 12 years later, living a lifestyle that you only dream about, living a lifestyle that you only see on TV. But you know what, Rob? I ain't the only one. I've got a massive amount of organization, and I've got hundreds of people making big money. It's living the same kind of lifestyle. It's got the dreams and the hope and the vision that they're coming forward. That's why today my wife and I are working so hard as everybody else, and we don't even have to. We still blitz like everybody does. We still have rap parties like everybody does. We're out here. We're finishers. So I told you the story about the snow, and I told you about the last 12 years of my life. That's not, it's what's exciting me anymore, Rob. It's the next 12 years of this leg that we're going to have running. And the next 12 years that we're focused on coming after it to help everybody else. Because when we help you succeed, it only secures our success. This is what my father taught me, the law of reciprocity. If I come into your life and I help make some of consequence happen, it only reciprocates back into my life. So the more we go out and help other people succeed, the more successful we are. And it just runs in a circle. The more we go out and help other people succeed, well, the more successful we are. And remember this, you'll always be paid in direct proportion for the quality of efforts expended.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Pleasure's mine. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. I know you said you have another conference call coming up. Do we have time for one question from us?
Sure, I got 8 minutes.
Okay, so we had, and you did cover so much, I still think that it kind of was covered in here, but, we have a lot of new people, and for new people, we just wanted to know one of the best advice that you give to your new people to help keep them motivated.
Well,
other than what you've already said, is there one specific thing?
yeah, well, if I personally sponsored you today, we're going to do this thing correctly because I'm investing my time. Mr. Pentecost says my time is worth $10,000 an hour. And so if I'm going to sit down, we have to value my time. I value yours. You have to value mine. We're going to follow this system. Number one, you come in for $99. Number two, you're going to get one of the booster packs. So this is a business. It's not a game we're playing. Number three, I'm going to get you right into your training academy, and we're going to start it. I have study groups all over North Carolina that we get together, and we study the training academy. That's your school, and that's how you learn. We learn in live stream video. Every day I'm having you plugged into Success on Demand. And I'm going to be asking you, what are we watching or looking for today? And we're going to have those goals there because I'm going to be doing it with you. I might be on my computer and you on yours, but we'll be able to talk about it and discuss it. And if I personally sponsor you, we communicate every day, 7 days a week, about where we're going to track our progress. And we follow the system. Get so many blitz cards a day. I start you off kind of small, and then they just do it wherever you are. I get you into these good habits that I've developed over the last 12 years. And once I help you develop into the good habit, our first goal quite naturally is Ruby. Our second goal is for you to break a couple rubies. Our third goal is you go in diamonds. And if you're willing to go roll your sleeves up and go to work, we follow the system to a T. I don't deviate from what's in your back office. I don't deviate from the party pad. I don't deviate from the blitzing. And I'm very big on goals, and I don't deviate from getting that dream board put up. And I want you to dream big. Because if you got little old bitty dreams, that's all your income will be. If you start dreaming big, I got some of my top earners now. They're paying more for cars than they pay. Most people pay for houses. And we teach you not to go in debt, to get out of debt, and don't start spending that kind of money until you can pay for your toys. That's one of the secrets to true wealth. It don't matter about keeping up with the Joneses, or who said what, or who said this. It's about building your banking account to the fat cat. And the people that they look and say, oh, I don't know about this. Well, you go talk to my banker. He'll tell you who we are. Right quick. See how that I never go into the bank and or I catch the elevator and go to the top floor to do my banking. And so everybody has the ability to do that. You have the ability to have your own personal private banker. Now, how did I get to this position, to answer your question? I followed the system. Today, all the top money earners in the Networks Global, we blitz. We follow the party pad. We do rap parties. And we periodically stay at our back offices looking at the training videos. And also, we all plug into Success on Demand. That keeps you motivated. That keeps new ideas flowing. That keeps your brain going. That keeps your creative mobilities flowing. And when you submerge yourself in helping somebody else get to where they want to go, you never have to worry about where you want to go. You'll secure your own success. The 3 steps to success, I don't deviate one word what that party pad says. I show up to 300 or 400 people at a time. I could come in with a big business suit on. I can throw up a slide presentation, but I do not. I walk in front of people. Normally I'm wearing jeans and tennis shoes and a pullover. I reach in my back pocket after I tell my story. I pull out that party pad and I read it to the crowd. You know why I do that? They're going to say, my God. That's all he did. If he read that and he's successful, I can duplicate that effort. It's not intimidating. Because intimidating, most people are so busy with clutter in their lives that they can't take on anything else. They can't go learn how all the products work. So I just stick with what I know works. Something so simple that children understand how to get it done.
Amen to that.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
What an honor to have you on tonight. Thank you.
Well, you're so welcome. I feel honored and privileged that you had me on.
Yeah, definitely. Like I always told you, them Tuesday night calls, I always tune in to hear what you have to say. So it just feels good that you could speak to our team.
Well, thank you, and it's an honor, and the privilege is mine.
We know you have another call. Yes, we know you have another call, so thanks again, and thank you so much. Our team is just going crazy. They're excited. Their mouths are dropping.
Well, you're very welcome.
Have a great night.
This is your month. March is the biggest month of the year to lay your foundation for your business. Thank you for having me on the call. I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.
All right.
Thanks.
Later, Rusty.
Bye, Rusty. All right, so I am going to unmute the call and stop the recording.